Hi, everyone. Kevin here to talk to you again about another source of funds for your next recreation or park projects. One of the biggest sources of funding that you may not have heard of for great conservation projects is called the Land and Water Conservation Fund. It's been around for decades. It was created in 1964. It's funded thousands of projects of all kinds, from wild natural wilderness areas to local close to home projects that help people get out and enjoy their community together. Within the Land and Water Conservation Fund is something called stateside funding. Stateside funding is managed in partnership between the National Park Service and your state conservation or environmental agency. These funds tend to be fairly flexible. The only requirements are that the funds are used to support what's called a State Conservation Outdoor Recreation Plan, or SCORP, and that the funds are spent on lands that are permanently conserved in some fashion. Within stateside funding, there are currently two buckets of funds. The general stateside funding is fairly flexible. Again, it must support the SCORP, and it must be on conserved land. But a state can use them in a variety of ways. They can create their own programs with their own deadlines. I couldn't describe all 50 states to you in a video, but a conversation or a visit to your agency's website will probably explain some places for you to engage with them about funding some cool projects. The other bucket of funds I want to speak in more detail about. That bucket is called the Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership Program. The goal of the Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership Program is to directly connect people in disadvantaged neighborhoods to outdoor recreation opportunities through rehabilitation or restoration of public places like parks. The ORLP in 2024 has about $225 million set aside. The funding for a project can range between $300,000 and $15 million. The Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership Program is a national competition. The stateside funds are competition within your own state. This Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership Program is a national competition where you're going to be up against projects from all over the country and the United States territories. Applications and proposals need to be through a lead agency, such as a city, a tribal nation, or a state agency. But the funds can be granted out to contractors, nonprofits, community groups to get the work done. The Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership Program requires these funds to be spent in communities of 30,000 people or more. The National Park Service prefers funding more natural areas and natural projects, but they'll fund any outdoor recreation project in a community of 30,000 people or more, even outdoor pools. To help you, the National Park Service has created a climate and environmental justice screening tool. I'm going to put a link down below that you can click on to check out your community or your potential project and see if it falls in one of these census tracts. The criteria the Park Service will use to evaluate these projects includes how well it follows that SCORP, the kind and quality of community engagement that has gone into planning for the project, whether the project is shovel ready and can be built quickly, or at least work can begin in the next year or two. And the Park Service also wants to avoid gentrification. There could be some policies or measures put in place, or perhaps it's in a setting in a public housing environment where we know an investment in a beautiful new park won't drive the local residents out through rent increases and things like that. Also, Under the ORLP, some federal funds can actually be used as match. Funds, for example, from the HUD Community Development Block Grant Program. There are transportation funds and some other environmental mitigation funds that all could be used as match against the ORLP. Now, the national deadline for the ORLP in 2024 is April 30th. Because these proposals need to be submitted with your state agency or a city government, you need to get working on those now. So talk to your state agency today. They want to hear about great projects. And if it's not ready this year, perhaps you could start working on getting it ready for next year. We're in about the 7th or 8th year of these funds. So fingers crossed, these funds will be coming for a while now and will be great opportunities for you to do something quite transformative in your community. Take a look at some of these amazing projects that they have funded across the country already. Don't these look like great places to visit? Don't these look like really wonderful neighborhoods through the colorful and thoughtful investments that people have made in these parks? And lastly, consider getting involved in the next state conservation and outdoor recreation plan in your state. Your state agency wants to hear from you. They want these funds to go where the most people will be able to benefit from them. They love ribbon cuttings, and boy, our elected officials sure love them. So the more that these funds go out into neighborhoods that really need them, the better. And they could hear from you now while they're working on the next plan. Thanks for listening. I'd love to hear about your project. Drop a comment below, and please hit like and subscribe as I try to build the channel and get the word out about some more of these funds and other smart ways for your nonprofit to get more done in your community. Thanks. Talk to you soon.